things, and considering the type of person I am. Before we get started, I just want to say real quick, if you see me responding to someone else, I swear that is not me having a schizophrenic meltdown. I do have a completely neutral third party here to tell me if I am going off basis and if I am becoming a little bit too angry about things. Just for the sake of actually talking about the situation in its entirety, before we do get started, really quickly, I would like to address some trigger warnings. Number one, this does include mentions of self-woos, and this also will contain talk about somebody having now passed, rest their souls. But with that, I just want to say, please also take this time to make your own educated, of course, decisions and thoughts about everything. Because a lot of this is gonna be, like, I'm not gonna have the opportunity to share all of the screenshots. I do have a couple that I will show just to completely prove the point and to come across that, hey, like, we are no longer fucking around about this. And as a complete disclaimer, if this party continues with their veiled harassments and just kind of continuing the situation behind closed doors, I will release the screenshots just for the sake of, you know, safety of everybody. So with that, I want to say to everyone, please keep the chat respectful. Please make sure that if you have anything to add or say, that number one, it is not going to be hurtful and it is purely fact. Because I have gone through so much and through so many things that honestly, this was something coming. I did not initially want to be part of this. I did not initially want to have any involvement in this other than sharing, like, shedding light on the people that actually needed it. But I have been dragged into this via Aylaa. So I just want to say really quickly, yeah. And while I'm taking this moment, I'm gonna go ahead and at the people in the title who are the most prevalent in this situation. Also, I am very sorry. Also, as the pin message suggests, because this is an extremely serious topic, I do have tits turned off. I do have all the fun stuff turned off because this is something that I feel just does not need to be, like, how should I say this? It shouldn't be a joke to anyone. Yeah, it shouldn't be taken lightly. This is something that has been happening for a while and that I have been just kind of sitting quietly on my own with, so that way I could genuinely come up with a valid response and something that is extremely true. Also, yes, thank you for redeeming you guys' daily glitter. Remember to do that. There we go. Yeah. It's not something that's going to lighten the mood. I'm going to be very real with everybody now. This is going to hit some kind of hard topics, even for me to talk about, because I am extremely protective whenever it comes to minors and adult spaces, and specifically the actions of the adults around them, because as everybody needs to know, and as something that I would like for everybody to remember while we do this, is that not only for Discord servers, the owner is responsible. The owner is completely responsible for the actions of the people within their server. And on top of that, they are responsible to ensure that everybody within their server is following their rules. With that being said, I want to heavily emphasize that, again, make your own educated decisions about this and make sure that you guys are actually going to you know, think this through before you officially do this. Also, as Erie said, thank you, Erie. Any points will be refunded for chat spending points and stuff that will not go through. I just want to let you guys know now, this is purely for the sake of we are trying to make sure that this is done in the most clear way possible. With all of that having been said, I want to go ahead and say that I have quite a bit to talk about first. First off, I want to show the documentation of everybody and of all of the documents and all of the videos that I will personally be sourcing and I will personally be talking about, some which have not been published. Because certain users do have safety concerns. So of course we have the summary inciting incidents regarding ZetaKamui, Coming Clean, the person behind Max, and as again it's been said multiple times across platforms that the second account was made in retaliation, Martin's story, the person that was blamed entirely for a lot of the fake accounts, however, is probably the one who was least involved with it. Luna's story, which is, of course, sorry, I need to breathe, which is, of course, Blue Luna's story with it, and the one who has been very prevalent, Chaotic Nell's story, which is the one that was purposefully left out of the video of the Fox's Brew episode 2 debunking drama with Zeta. Purposefully left out. Foxy's story, which is the one that was most focused on. Foxy's screenshots. Anonymous stories recounting their experience with ZetaKamui. The Fox's Brew review, which is just an entire review on the stuff that the Fox's Brew got wrong and everything going on with it. An unpublished document, Estrid's story, talking about the leaking of screenshots and talking about, of course, everything that they as well went through with Zeta, and something that I will get into a little bit later, as well as, of course, properly crediting Aylaa with the Fox's Brew, and the Fox's Brew community safety first, which I will be getting into very heavily. And finally, on our list of sources, Zeta's apology video. And I do have apology in quotation marks, just because this is something that he has also said that he just did for himself. So I understand he's apologizing, but he's apologizing more to himself, and I will go into the comments of that later, and why a lot of people feel this reigns very true. Now, with the who is who. So, really quickly, I'm gonna debunk a lot of stuff that has been going on, because there have been a couple parties wanting to start some malicious rumors about, of course, myself and about me hanging around with minors, and I will get into that later, because that is not something I take at all very, very lightly. And this is a massive concern, like safety concern for me. So yeah, this is everything that I will be sourcing and crediting. And here's the thing, it wasn't necessarily with me. I just got dragged into it, and they were threatening to spread some pretty malicious rumors. So I'm not about that. You all know I do not mess around with things like that, and I am extremely cautious about who I interact with and who I, of course, you know, speak to in the VTuber sphere. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'll keep it up. Yes, just allegations to spark drama to bring me into other things. So, really quickly, before we do get started, I want to talk about the initial thing that started everything, which was this, the Fox's Brew 2. Very quickly, before I touch on this, not only do I have things timestamped for this, however, this is me showing you that this is still completely up. this entire thing is still up. There is nothing that will stop you from finding this on your own. Really quickly, I want to start with one of the biggest things that I see as an issue, which is a quote from Aylaa and the other parties involved on that area of things. The past must be kept in the past. And also, that's by Aylaa. And by Zeta, the past must be kept behind me for good. By Zeta. To start off with, the past shapes our future. And this was before an apology was ever given. This was before, of course, this video. Which, I would also like to mention, the comments are currently paused and they are turned off. It says 0 comments because I'm pretty sure all of the comments got deleted. And there is a complete section of this video that, because there was multiple comments saying that this was not okay. So this is them further continuing to try and conceal things and trying to silence people. The past shapes us and our future, and that was way before the apology. Pairing with, of course, Aylaa's comment, it's extremely convenient for people who want things to be left alone to say, oh, the past is in the past. But at the end of the day, all it's doing is wanting to silence people and like divert people from the ideology of, oh, it's already done, it needs to be like left alone. No, you are purposefully trying to silence people and trying to say that, oh, it's over, it's done with. With that as well, I want to say, like, I want to touch on the silencing tactics of people. It shuts down the need for accountability. It protects the aggressors and not the people who, of course, been harmed by everything. It's an easy pass for them to say, oh, it's already happened, it's been done with. As Zeta, of course, likes to say, that, oh, it's already been dealt with, I can't change it. Yeah, you might not be able to change it, but you can change the way you react to it. Sitting there and not wanting to take any sort of accountability for it is not the way to go. And including in your apology video that all sides were wrong completely negates your entire apology. What you need to do, Zeta, and this is genuinely me saying it to you, you just need to apologize. You need to apologize without Aylaa freaking out at you in a group chat. You need to apologize and just be fucking genuine, okay? Like, you continuously say, oh, you don't feel like you need to do an apology. You don't feel like they really need one. I think, also, love that name. I think that saying anything like that completely negates from the responsibility of it. And it's extremely important that, you know, you address that and you actually own up to your shit that you did. Just because it was in the past, if you're showing behaviors in 2025 that mimic the same thing, it doesn't mean that you've changed. It just means that you've evolved into your new tactics. Another thing, it's fresh hurt for some. It's fresh hurt for some. It's not over if other people are hurting. That's another thing you don't even take into account. You don't take into account the people who you've hurt. You sit there and you pity yourself. And I really, really hope that you change that mind of thinking, because everyone can be a good person in that. While I agree with that, I agree that all apologies can be different. I think it's definitely one of those things that you need to take with a grain of salt. And just some of the things he said completely invalidate his own apology. If anything, it was more for himself. And I understand that he needs to apologize to himself. He needs to get over this himself. But he also needs to understand that other people are hurting and other people have been impacted. Also, Aylaa, my sweet, calling everything AI, even if it's misspellings, even if it's going through, like, why do you continuously emphasize that everything is AI? One of the biggest things that I've noticed about Aylaa is she actually has AI music herself. If I can get it to work. But her intro music is AI. And this is not even the AI where you can tell she wrote the lyrics, because as you all know, I work hand in hand with AI to develop my music, and I write anywhere from 75 to 90% of the lyrics with discretion to follow within the AI's TOS. That does not mean I am not picky about it. That means everything I've created is something true to what I wanted to create. And I think it's extremely important to emphasize that if you are going to utilize the tools of AI, that you use it in a way that is going to remain true to you. And if you use AI so much, of course, you have no room to be talking down on it. Because I can tell with my experience in music that this is just completely dropped in, prompt given. This is what I do. This is what things are going on in my thing. And this is, you know, yeah, it just, and the plain and simple way, this is a prompt given to an AI with no genuine lyrics put in. And the fact that she continues to emphasize a lot of it being on AI for the original documentation, just because of the way it was rushed and because of the way it was made, I think she was just trying to discredit it Sorry, let me take a breath. I think she was just trying to discredit it at that point. Anything that she said, any statements, she wanted to discredit it as inhuman, to derive people's emotion from it, to keep people from feeling things about it. And I think that is kind of fucked up, because a lot of people worked really, really hard and poured a lot of tears and love and fucking hurt into these documents. And to just be passed off as AI is extremely dismissive, and it just does not genuinely rub me the right way, because there's so much of this that could have been done in a great way to showcase, hey, people can change. People can change, because she went into this saying she was a neutral party. However, whenever everything came out, it was found out she's just extremely close friends with Zeta, and she's just hurt by the fact that he's getting, you know, shitted on. Also, yes, I understand AI extensively and the way it functions, because that is something that I feel it is a tool to be utilized, as long as you're utilizing it in a safe and productive way to add and give you more ideas. It should not be the sole basis of the creation. And with art, another thing too I've noticed is that there are some AI aspects of her items. And it's just, if you're going to be using it, it's one thing to use it, but then to turn around and try and discredit so many things because of AI is just a very cheap tactic. With that, whenever we're talking about AI, I want to mention that there is a lot of favoritism within the AI, because someone in that group chat, actually 2 people in that group chat, have AI photos. So if she shows the same disdain about AI that she does, or that she did during the Fox's Brew, I think she needs to show that same amount of disdain toward the people using AI within her circle. I think it's a pick and choose of what she wants to share and what will make them look the best. Because another thing beyond this is that there was a lot of information from what I read through that was purposefully covered up. There was a lot of things that was purposefully done in a way to silence people, such as her chat being emo only and being quite literally just something that no one could really respond to unless it was with emotes. And that's like, genuinely, you are silencing people in that, whether you realize it or not. You are keeping people from trying to genuinely share their statements. Like, that's why I chose to say, hey, you guys need to keep it as kind as possible in this chat, because this is an open discussion. This is an open discussion about what is going on. Because that's not, none of what transpired with this is okay. I don't believe it's okay. And if you guys believe it's okay, I mean, you're more than welcome to. However, I am choosing to speak against it. Another thing that I realized while going through the Fox's Brew, whenever I initially watched it, because I did watch it while it was live, prior to the thoughts that they shared in their group chat, I did go through everything, and I did actually unravel everything. I just was not that stupid. I'm sorry. But what I realized is they didn't actually go through info. They cookie cut pasted everything into a document And they purposefully used an old documentation that showed names that were not redacted, people who wanted to be left out, and quite literally just everything that was not supposed to be in the document that people wanted out was pulled out. But she consciously went with the choice to go with the old document. And that's something that it strikes me bizarre, because if she would have gone through the information like she said she did, like her quotation marks team said she did, then it would have been very, very easy to spot that, hey, this happened, people were taken out because consent wasn't given, etc. And one of her biggest things, because the entire reason I was brought into this is Aylaa actually brought me in via a third party that had absolutely nothing to do with this, and who still continues to have nothing to do with this. And she messaged me under kind of like a weird thing saying, hey, were you actually allowed to give screenshots? And she came at me real aggro from the beginning. And she was like, did you even allow your screenshots to be shared? What was going on? What was going on with that? And essentially it just became a, oh, I guess they were trying to find out whose screenshots were okay. Little did I know they were just trying to find ways to rip the other documents apart, which I understand. That's what I'm doing. But I'm doing it in probably the most respectful way possible because I have already cited my sources. Quoting Aylaa one more time that I need to use my voice and that I need to, again, speak up for people. This is me doing so. I just didn't want to get involved if I didn't have to be. And I think that is very important to recognize. Because you dragged me into this. You guys were the ones who wanted to start that rumor. Remember that. Another thing that I noticed while watching the Fox's Brew, this current thing that we have up, is that she constantly weaponized other people's trauma, whether she knew it was real or not. And that is what strikes me appalling. She swept so much under the rug. Like the victims didn't even matter. Like their voices didn't have a reason because she didn't believe it. I would like to go to one of the documents, actually, talking about one of the people. Because one of the things that I saw is Chaotic Nell's story right here, why I cut off ZetaKamui, was completely left out. And what I saw from their group chat is they purposefully left it out because there was nothing in there that served their purpose. What they did use from it, though, for those of you who know what a weeding tool is for the crickets, they had an experience with that. And Aylaa, not knowing what a weeding tool was, said, oh, okay, I'll say chaotic. I'll say chaotic for the record. Nobody would do that. Discrediting any harm done and that it was fake, because nobody would do that, right? As she was going on that it was some sort of gardening tool, which that was not the case. She was just uneducated in the aspect of it. And I want to say, whether it be fake, whether it be real or not, it's not up to her to discredit that. It's not up to her to say what's real or what isn't real. She doesn't know the experiences other people have gone through. She doesn't know the pain that other people have gone through. Why should she feel the need to speak on the behalf of others that she doesn't even know? Thank you, Chaotic. Yeah, but just kind of quoting, because she did say, why would anyone do that? As well as hopping to another instance, which I can directly come up in the video here at 5520.
The Panda Gamer. Now, guys, let me tell you about this person. When I
let me tell you about this person. Let me discredit everything that they're gonna say.
It was his girlfriend that had passed, and heard from other people that that wasn't true.
Okay, who told you this wasn't true, Aylaa? Genuinely, out these people. Say their names. Say their names. Sis, say their names. Okay? Because if you're discrediting somebody's death, that is beyond fucked. You streamed this. You had the conscious thought to say, yeah, you know, they lied about someone dying. Everything they say is forfeit. Can we take a moment and say, first off, Panda, I am so fucking sorry that you had to deal with that. Panda, I am so sorry that you had to hear those words spoken from this woman's mouth, discrediting a hurt that deep. Aylaa, I hope you take time and genuinely reflect on this, because saying things like that is beyond dangerous. It's beyond discrediting any hurt anybody has ever felt. You are passing them off to be a liar before they have even spoken their piece to your chat. You are sitting here saying that their trauma is not valid because I don't believe it. Like, I genuinely, I don't know what else to say other than do better. Do better than that. That was not okay. Whether you believe it, whether you don't believe it, you need to take that with a grain of salt, and you need to empathize with the fact that if somebody died and you have no knowledge of it, you need to at least give that grain of salt and say, okay, acknowledge it. Don't go online and don't say, oh, this never happened. They're just a big, fat, chronic liar. Okay? Another thing too is she calls a lot of things harassment. From what I've realized, a lot of her videos on TikTok, with people quite literally just asking her questions, people asking for fairness from that group chat, harassment, people trying to contact her for info, harassment, people coming her to tell her that some of her information was incorrect, harassment. Just because she does not want to hear it, it automatically becomes harassment. And I think that is a very dangerous way to wield your power. Also, with that, she holds a massive double standard for a lot of things, as you guys will probably hear me talk about. She holds the double standard for AI, as I have shown you guys. She holds the double standard for the streaming of the situation, because a lot of people who have talked about the situation and who have come up and spoken about it, oh, they're just clout chasers. Oh, they're just drama mongers. And that's all that she discredits them. She calls them childish, and her entire group actually, which for those of you who want to know of the people involved, who is who, this is everybody who was involved in the group. And this is everybody who was involved with the interrogation, which was held in Josue Ash's Discord. So, I'm going to be very real about this. If you're going to have double standards, you need to hold them for yourself. You need to make sure that you are consistently keeping your standards across everyone. With that, I also want to say she calls people childish constantly. Her and her group have been calling people childish time and time again, just for simply expressing our opinions, just for simply calling out some of these behaviors. It just all gets boiled down to being childish. But they're still turning around and making tiny dick jokes. Hello? Childish? Question mark? Same thing. Good. As well as making fucking memes. Making memes of the victims in the situation. That is disgusting behavior. Sitting there and saying, oh my god, my haters are my biggest fans. I think that shows how deeply you are involved in this drama, how deeply you are invested in it, and invested from the numbers that are in it, because you yourself said, oh yeah, they'll look at it and then they'll click my stuff and find my things and follow me and give me big monies. Like, no, you were heavily invested in it. You did this for the sake of drama. You didn't do this for the sake of truth. If you did this for the sake of truth, what is this? What is this 4 hours long? 4 hours long thing of just absolutely calling everything AI, trying to discredit everything that anybody has tried to share with you? I'm someone who I said what I said, and I did say what I say. I will keep saying what I said. As well, you know, the entire reason you contacted me, right? You wanted to make sure my consent was given for screenshots. But you openly used screenshots that did not have any sort of consent given. As we are jumping to 1 hour and 37 minutes, if you guys want to go there yourselves, or just let me do it so you guys don't give her any more views, because she clearly is getting off on it.
Thank you, thank you. So this...
There is a complete leak of people, which she only decided to protect the person who leaked it. Which, for anybody who wants to know who leaked it, Blake right here, the person that actually, you know, uses the AI photos that she hates so much, right? We hate AI here. It was actually Blake that leaked it all, without consent, without anything. One of the biggest things that I want to say is, if you were so concerned about permissions being given, why did you not ask Estrid for her permission? Estrid was, since you're here in chat, sound it out. Were you asked for permission? But with that, Blake, see, no, they were not. Hi, Winterneck, hopefully you're doing good. We are uncovering some stuff. With that, I really want to emphasize Blake is an extremely active participant in this group chat. Extremely active, as well as with their boyfriend, who actually goes by a demon sniper. So if you guys want to know who is who, I kept them right next to each other because they love each other. Blake Onyx and Demon Sniper. Yeah, some messages, Esther did get attacked actually by some of their messages, as well as, thank you for the cheek bets. Thank you. What I do want to point out is there was some heavy therapy talk given, which, honey, Aylaa, unless you are an actual therapist, please keep these thoughts to yourselves. Keep these thoughts to yourselves. One of the biggest things that I want to emphasize is they said that they wanted to cry or punch walls. Clearly that is a dramatized, you know, statement, such as, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. However, she took this upon with a very serious attitude, trying to form kind of the idea that these people had issues, trying to discredit anything, which at the beginning of her even showing these messages is what happened. So she was already trying to dismantle everything that anyone said by, oh, this is a shitty person. Oh, this person lies. Oh, this person's mentally unstable. The only thing that I see unstable about the situation is how eager you are to comment on how other people feel. So yeah, Blake is the one that leaked all of the screenshots. And actually, on top of that, this was one of the reasons that a couple people, I'm not sure who, however, I can ask for that information. A couple people actually got banned off Twitch consistently because of the type of harassment that this video and this stream, because this was streamed. This was streamed before it was ever, of course, as you can see, this was streamed before it was ever posted. So they already did a lot of damage whenever they were doing this video. So much so that someone on, or correction, someone that was friends with this group, I'm not entirely sure if they're still friends, because I'll bring it up a little later, actually brought up some other things, which I would heavily like to mention this now. For the person that switched, I want to talk about Kohaku for a second. She basically orchestrated the call with Zeta. That is about 14 minutes long. Sorry, 17 minutes long. As you can see, I have the entire thing downloaded just in case. And this is the photo from it. And this does include Apame, it includes her, and includes another party as well as Zeta. And one of the things that she said during this that I would like to quote, and I can actually go and screenshot. I was crying and dying the whole time, not gonna lie. NGL. Oh, he said, oh yes, we stopped talking because of another issue, but we won't get into it today. ... to allow space. Like, brother, I blocked you because of how you act, not the other way around. End quotations. Yet, eventually when everything came out with this, when she was finally put in the hot seat to tell the truth, she backed out. She backed out. She said, don't use any of my shit. Don't anything. You sent this, you orchestrated it. You can no longer say, don't use any of my shit. No, honey, you were part of this. You were deeply, deeply part of this. As much as you want to say you weren't, you were. Also, for those of you who know how YouTube Studio works, as you can see, she's in her own thing. Kohaku VT is the only one in the chat, as well as the PNGs and her model. Just to add some validity to that. Again, as we go back into the double standards, Aylaa had a lot of spies. Aylaa had a lot of spies in the group chats from what I read through the entirety of the group chat that, you know, she essentially made and her and Zeta made, that dates back all the way to way before this stream actually happened, which I do have the screenshots of it right here. But like I said, due to the safety of some people, I will not be sharing them. However, if you guys want to continue to push this issue, they will be shared with no problem. Thank you. She constantly puts spies into the group chats of everybody else. And it's beyond unnecessary. Like, if she wanted information, she could have asked people. That's what I did throughout the entirety of her first stream. I actually got into this because she was mentioning me a lot and bringing me in and DMing me, because she DM'd me. She asked for my information. So, of course, she dragged me in. I became involved. Not only did she send spies to the other chats, and that's why she found out a lot of stuff and a lot of things, and about how documents, individual documents were being released. Thank you, Kohaku, by the way, that leaked that. We know it was you. But another person that I would really, really like to heavily talk about is AyameShuVt. Now, I personally do not know AyameShuVt. I do not want to know her currently. However, Ayame, if you are welcome to change and welcome to actually become a decent person and not act like this, I am more than welcome to friendship. However, that's going to be something that you're going to have to work extremely hard to. As you can see, are you friends with Lady Rose VT? No, why? I was going to message her and ask if she gave Luna her permission to share messages without being covered. Which, you all know me, I'm someone who I said what I said. I'm not gonna sit there and pretend I didn't. I said what I said. I am true to what I say. I will always be true to what I say. But that can change if needed. Is it gonna change if needed? I'm not someone you make friends with easily, Ayame. Yeah, I'm not friends with them. Sadly, plus never knew who these people were until we started doing this. If that gives you any idea. They were going out to people and they were reaching out and they were trying to gain more information purposefully, you know, antagonizing people. Which, I want to talk about Destroyer of Worlds. I know some of you guys have seen her messages through here and haven't really, like, seen her in the chat. Heartful. Harassing Luna Blue Rose. You know, the very thing that we don't agree with, correct? The very thing that Aylaa stands against, you know, harassment. The hero we don't deserve. Tell him I said thanks too. Good luck in class. Good luck, you know, saying this wasn't you. Inciting harassment and agreeing with it. You want to know what he said? Literally, it's so vague. I'm not even going to show it completely. But these messages were beyond uncalled for. And shortly after this, Ayame actually started following me, which here's that screenshot. She has not unfollowed me yet, so thankfully I was able to get this today. But Ayame, do better, sweetheart. Like, seriously, you don't need to be a part of this drama. You don't need to be inciting this type of issue. You are part of the problem currently. While we were talking about AyameShuVt and Destroyer of Worlds, If I can find it later, because it is in the video that I have of the chat, I want to quote them in something kind of disgusting that I mentioned earlier. Destroyer of Worlds and AyameShu. So essentially, Destroyer of Worlds at first said, "Aren't you that creepy stalker chick who hangs out with that kid?" And this is something that she wanted to say, actually, in one of the videos in response to me. Because whenever we bring up the Fox's Brew community safety first, you guys know I'm extremely vocal about things. Here it is. Did the minor's parents consent to this? Did you have permission to post this from their guardian? Tell me a group of adults, some with littles of their own, which, Aylaa, I'm talking to you, because you constantly say you're a mother. You constantly bring up the fact that you're a mother. I expect you to do better for your children and for the people around you, because if anything, you should know how damaging things like this can be to people. But I won't get into that just yet. Also, I would like to mention, at the moment, while we are talking, all of this is currently, the comments have to get approved by Aylaa in order to be posted. So there is more heavily censoring on their behalf. Also, thank you for the water. I will drink some water. I've been yapping. And if you guys want to see the people who are actually involved in that, this entire video was actually done in Josue Ash's server. Which I would like to, again, remind everybody that Discord servers are monitored by the people that own them. Discord does not have any moderation with that. Everybody is individually tasked with managing their servers and managing what goes on within them. They are responsible for that. I reached out to Josue, actually, to talk with him. And what he ended up doing is he turned around and he went to the group saying, "I'm starting shit." Which, I'm not starting shit. I'm putting an end to it at this point. Oh. Hell, hydrate. Josue, I gave you your chance to confront this. I gave you your chance to be honest. And I genuinely tried to give you that benefit of the doubt. But you showed me that you had no care for it and that you are 100% part of this. Returning back to the original thing that I was talking about, after Ayame followed me across all platforms, I want to talk about the ethics whenever it comes out to things like this. Like, if you are going to sit here and plan befriending people to the point where you're going to go across and follow them and do that, like, how much is it that you actually just want to be friends, or you just want to gain something from them? You just want to use them? Because if this is the kind of behavior you guys are exhibiting, then it's highly concerning the type of future behaviors you're going to want to keep doing. Teo, this is the issue that I wanted to talk about with Zeta, with Aylaa, with Ayame, with the entire group chat, because as you can see, there's very much a group chat. I would love to see them delete it. So, how far are you willing to go for the sake of painting yourselves as victims, painting yourselves as the hero of this story? It makes me debate whether anything you actually put in this video is legitimate or not, because there are so many cases in this video where you discredit people, where you purposefully have left things out, where you purposefully have just tried to talk about certain topics and left out entire sections of the document just for the sake of making yourselves look better. With that, we all know, of course, Twitch streamers change names, correct? Twitch streamers have their own roundabout way of continuing to find what works for their brand. However, we do often get the, you changed your name to run from things. And that is also going to be one of the cases with Zeta, is they did change their name to try and run from things. And Aylaa actually took a very big issue with another party in the situation that ended up changing their name a couple months back, and they got really defensive. Why'd you change your name? You're trying to run from it. However, whenever it comes to Zeta, of course, as we've established that they are friends, it goes down to the, you had to change your name to get away from them. She's essentially enabling him, yet holding the same double standard. Oh yeah, Chaotic, I've actually talked about this on my Twitter. There is a site that does track people for their name changes. So if you are trying to get away from that, there are like things that can be used to retrack you. Just own up to your shit. Don't do anything bad. How about that? Yeah, and during this entire thing, she constantly mentioned how, oh, I collab with him constantly. Oh, anytime I've streamed with him, the only time I've ever seen him get aggressive is during games. Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily transpire, like, that doesn't transfer to offline behavior. That doesn't transfer to what happens behind closed doors. And I think that's what my biggest issue behind this is. She presents herself as such a holier than thou in this situation. However, behind closed doors, she's saying things that, you know, nobody's even hearing of because, you know, she doesn't want to really mention it. And while I'm mentioning that, really quickly, let me bring up something. One of the screenshots that I took. For those of you that know, I, of course, can I open this on web? There you go, I'll open it in browser. For those of you that know me, I'm someone who I said what I said. I said what I said. If you can't read this, it says she needs to follow what she says in response to. The voice is a powerful thing. Use it and speak up. If you see something, don't stay silent. Yourself, others, and friends. We all need to be held accountable in this space. Remember, we are strong together. And that's something that I really, really want to emphasize right now, is we are stronger together. We are stronger if we use our voices. And honestly, Foxy, without me trying to say anything to hurt you, I think it was because it benefited her. It benefited her being on Zeta's side because she didn't exactly know the entire extent of everything. She just wanted to. And at the end of the day, she used this to parade around for views. Because at the end, like literally, because who in their right mind, let me go to it as well. I'm doing this to make sure that I hide people's anonymity. Who in their right mind, okay? Who in their right mind is going to sit here and create, you know, memes saying, oh yeah, all my biggest haters are my biggest supporters. You guys get me my money. And she has actively said, oh, they're gonna go check my links, they're gonna go check my stuff out just because of the drama, just because my name's attached to it. No, not in the ways that you maybe really want. And remember her big issue of having problems with them using, like with the group using Zeta's image? How can you say that and turn around using the actual models of people and literally creating these memes? Like, and you want to sit there and call everybody else in your group childish? Touching back on that, like, this is childish. This is beyond uncalled for. This is you inflating your own ego. With that, not only was she enabling him during this entire video, they purposefully used, via their own words, the old documentation of things. Which, by the way, really quickly, talking about the old doc, I want to mention this. Stuff that was removed from the old doc, which they purposefully used instead of using the new one, is it showed Zeta's real name, which I'm refusing to show during this because I am not going to be part of that. It showed other people who did not want to be involved. It showed people, like, things that were not properly redacted. It showed, like, things that were not supposed to be there, essentially. and they had to go through and they had to make sure that everything was okay again and post a new document to make sure everyone was happy with what was portrayed. With that, I want to add my own note. While making a group document might seem more presenting in the future for anyone dealing with this, make your own documents, provide your own things. Make sure that you do this in a sentence that's focusing on your experience and not others. Because if everybody does that to the point where they can properly show it, it's going to show a paper trail. It's going to show a paper trail of repeated behaviors, repeated like things that they do. As well as, yeah, dyslexia as well. Which, another thing, not me trying to hate on everyone, but that is on the people who are posting the documents to make sure they are responsible for what they are posting. I don't agree with everything that happened. I don't agree with some of the actions that were taken by that group. I am not actually part of that group. I was just dragged into this. I was dragged into this because she dragged me in and she wanted to start this rumor about me. So, Apame, of course, admitted everything with a document, with like everything, as I was talking about earlier. Apame admitted everything. I told them for any amount of anything that now was the time to own up. If they fucked up, they needed to own up. Because I did talk with the group prior to this, because I was going to cover it, because I did not agree with the way she handled things. Also, the ChatGPT kind of being blamed for a lot of it, and especially having a lot of spelling errors. ChatGPT would not have spelling errors, okay? ChatGPT, if anything, would correct people's spelling errors. So the fact that you're still trying, like, one of the biggest things about this was ChatGPT. Oh, it was AI. It was AI. It was AI. No, it quite literally just was people full of emotion, and you want to discredit that. So, not only did they not properly go through their information, not only did they not properly vet everything, but all of the information that was said in this video, as a lot of people can confirm, it took me 2 hours to, exactly, can't really misspell things, Teo. It took me 2 hours to solidly go through and to actually validate a lot of things. It took me 2 hours to go through and properly, you know, find information, find the fake account within the entire span of the stream. What she had, I want to say, over a week, if not a week, to do, I was able in 2 hours to uncover all of the information she got incorrect. From the blaming people who were not really even part of this because they were so done with it, from trying to connect one person to 4 different people, from trying to purposefully hide information. This was fucked from the start. Okay? Yeah, it functions like Grammarly. It'll, even if you type something misspelled into it, it will correct it. So that's for the documents. That is how much everything has happened. On top of it, talking about the little bit of the stalker comment made earlier and touching bases on their entire group having been like talking about, well, I'll just go to who is who. But in their group, they heavily, and I cannot highly emphasize this anymore, from what I've showed of my screenshots of just the, well, I can't show it in this because I showed it in the other one. My bad. It's in the Discord. But from that, I want to say that they heavily monitor everyone in the situation. Me, any of the victims, anything. Commenting on how much reach it is, how easy it is to find things, how some of us, as I've showed you, should do what we say we need, what we're saying we need to do. And I think it's really important to realize that behind closed doors, they feel extremely comfortable showing their true colors to the point where they won't say it in person. Like, girl, say their names. Say their names. If you're going to say something to me, say it to my face. I've said everything I'm going to say to your face. Why won't you, like, do the same respect? Because you're scared. Because you're scared of the backlash. Because you're scared that if you show your true colors, that people are going to realize you're actually in the wrong. And something that I want to touch on as well is in the group chat, they said, don't react to it. Don't respond to it. Pretend like it's not even there. They're purposefully trying to ignore this entire situation, trying to think that they can get away scot-free. Playing this, oh, we are gonna run away from this. We don't have anything to do with it. We're so done with it. But behind closed doors, they feel so confident in, you know, making these memes, talking trash, keeping tabs on essentially everybody in the situation. Like, are you talking about yourselves whenever you talk about creepy stalkers? Because that is really, really creepy. Keeping tabs on someone to the point of constantly sending screenshots of their things. Also, I would like to say a small quote from Destroyer of Worlds. This lovely person right here. If I can find them. Did I not include them? Fuck. I actually do have their user here, by the way. So you guys are gonna see me put this in at real time. So. And just so we can confirm that. There you go. Confirmation that this is the same person. Not only, of course, thanking them, but this was the person that actually did say that they were wanting to start a rumor about me anonymously, creating a new account that said, aren't you that creepy stalker chick who hangs out with the kid? And AyameShu actually as well added onto it that they could make a fake account as well, and that they knew someone who could spread it. Are you saying you want to spread false information? I thought you guys were about the truth. I thought you guys were about actually debunking things. Not perpetuating these extremely, extremely dangerous rumors. Like, you want to call people childish? What is that? Saying you know people who could spread these rumors? Please share these people. Say their names. Because these people are fucking dangerous if they want to sit there and spread false rumors. Because as most of you know, I am an 18+ creator. I am someone who has always heavily emphasized, I do not allow minors here. I do not fuck with minors. Like, genuinely, how can you go around and spread this so easily? Because this is something that is not only damaging, but this could be detrimental to what I do. And they want to sit there and take this so incredibly lightly. And that's not the case. So, not only do they monitor all of our socials, so I somewhat expect them to be here. Hi, sweeties. I hope you guys learn. But I also want to address another thing Destroya said. Destroya said, it's time to cut out the fat. Like, what is that thinking? What is that thinking? You've already incited harassment. You've already allowed for the harassment of other people. And we need to, honestly, we need to be above this to a degree. We need to make sure that we keep ourselves level-headed and we just open our mouths enough to show that they are bullshitting, because that's not okay. It genuinely is not okay. I probably can't share it. Oh, no, it's already here. He's a hero we don't deserve. So you're okay with this harassment. He's a hero you don't deserve. You want to cut out the fat? Like, is that some sort of message to me? Is that some sort of message to my body? I don't know, but Destroya, you need to fucking answer about that. Because that is a little on the edge. A little on the edge of what you're allowed to say. Like, bitch, if you're gonna come cut me, I want to see you try. With that, as we're moving forward to the Fox's Brew community, kind of leaving this over here more. On top of purposefully leaving out information, as I said, Aylaa said that they were a new party. They are not. I want to mention that this group was ganging up on a minor. I will not, for the prosperity's sake, I will not say who this minor is. For the sake of everything, I won't fucking say their name during any of this. For those of you who have seen this video, it is still up. It is still up. If you guys want to go dislike it, do what you can. Tell them that this is not okay. And I want to emphasize, don't harass these people. If you guys want to do something, straight up, report them, block them, show them that their numbers aren't shit whenever it comes to drama. Because I'm going to be so real, she held her head up very, very, very high on the entire aspect that a lot of this was giving her numbers and that she had more numbers than she ever did prior to her streaming other things. So let's talk about her group ganging up on a minor. This is a whole other thing that I personally would like to touch on, because this is beyond, like, for context. This entire video, this hour and 37, almost 38 minutes, was recorded without the minor's consent. It was recorded because the minor was drawn into the VC by this person right here, Josue Ash, which is actually the person that owns the server. Led the minor in under false pretenses, and they basically essentially were cornered and interrogated, which, for those of you who know, interrogation of a minor in the US, which everybody here lives in this video essentially, is illegal without the consent of their parent. Hinting at this comment. Which, really quickly, before I go into the talk of the minor, I want to talk about Aylaa for a second. I know I've mentioned this several times again. Aylaa, you say constantly you're a mother. You constantly input yourself in the fact that I'm doing this for my kids. I'm making plates for my kids. I have to get my kids to do this. I know when my kids are lying. You are constantly inserting yourself as a mother. You should act like one, whether it be kids or not. This entire video is a gross example of the power dynamic you hold. It is beyond painful to watch. It is beyond anything. And not only that, this anonymous person, this Giant Rose, by the way, which I did actually find out who it was, and they blocked me for liking one of their tweets for saying, "I will find every red flag you have." Abysswisteria, the anonymous person. Let's go over to Twitter and let's bring up that post. Which, there we go. Wisteria has blocked you. All because I liked one post. Let me go into her media. Here we go. Stop fucking with my friends. I may not have friends that are constants in my life. Don't fuck with them. I will give them advice. Spot all your red flags. I will tell them these red flags. The more you spread your lies, the more ammo I give. They break free from you one day. They will break free from you one day. Which you can't see the post itself, but I will currently scroll down to that. Because that was 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. There you go. This is actually the anonymous person in this video. This Rose right here. This is Daisy. This is the minor. This is Josue Ash. This is Raptor. And let me double make sure on this one because I don't want to get that wrong. I believe that was Raikon. They're also not a streamer. And Katsuni Miyu, Asura's Draggerwolv, which is later in the or earlier in the video, which is this person. This is Daisy. And then as the video continues, more and more people are joining this call. More and more adults are joining this. More and more people are joining in and dogpiling in on this minor. They won't give him room to talk. They won't give him room to think. Any sort of time that he has to think is just completely discredited to he's trying to make new lives. Hold on. So this is actually, I'm not sure if this was in a public VC. However, the person did mention that they were lured in under false pretenses and that they did not know it was being recorded. The minor did not know it was being recorded. So Josue Ash dragged them in and they did not know what was going to happen. And I want to say, Ash, you are 100% responsible for what happened there. You are 100%, like, all of the Discord servers are managed by people, of course, who, you know, I'm gonna close these out. Everything has been managed by the people who own them. That's the way it works. That's the way Twitch works. If you guys want to know Josue Ash, without a doubt, this is them. This is their PNG confirming that it was them in the call. I have no idea if it was a public VC because this person was lured in under false pretenses, so I'm not sure. Another thing, as you guys can tell by them disabling comments and deleting comment, by, again, this one also being proven only on the comments, they are heavily filtering what is said. They are heavily, like, trying to make sure that anything that is said does not make them look bad. And if you didn't have anything to hide, like, why do that? Why do that? Just because you're getting hate because you cornered a minor? Like, no, you deserve it. That is 100% deserved. You do not do this. This is borderline illegal. You didn't ask their parents' permission. You didn't ask their guardian's permission. You just did. You just did it. And I really think that is beyond disgusting. Because who in their right mind has the active thing to say, oh yeah, let's bring this minor in, let's do that. And calling anybody else who talks about this drama mongers just because they don't agree with your opinion? It was confirmed it was a private VC in their server. So therefore, anybody who is joining in on this, had access to be part of it. And if you guys want, I can actually go through and I will go through all of these names. Because this is the anonymous person. This is the person that the server was held in. This is the anonymous person. This is the colorful Kitsune one, as you can tell. These are all active streamers, except for this person. Another person who was extremely active that wanted to perpetuate that rumor. Scooby. Oh wait, this is not them. This is not them. This is also someone. There was someone else that was also active in it. The other person that wanted to, which that should be an A. My bad, guys. This is the other person that wanted to, you know, include the rumor and include the little thing that they had about me. Which I would like to mention, none of these people know me. None of these people know me. This is the person that uses AI in their profile photos. And this is their boyfriend, which was added into the group way later. As you can see, these are all streamers who have been coming in and who have been essentially part of this. It doesn't matter if you were minorly a part of this. You guys were still in this video. You guys still added to this. And especially for the anon person, for Wisteria, cussing at a minor the way you did is completely unacceptable. It does not matter what you think, how mature they are. It does not matter how much you think that they can understand. You guys cussed out a minor. That is just it, putting it plain and simple. You guys interrogated a minor, cussed out a minor, and essentially created a massive power imbalance beyond what you guys could even fucking know. Like, so many of you had the option. Crimson, I will ask you to chill out a little. Well, I do agree. I did actually go through and, for those of you wanting to know how I did find out it was Wisteria. I actually went through their VODs and I matched her speech pattern. I matched her speech pattern with the person that was anonymous, as well as cross-referencing people that were in that server. So, unless I'll give you the same thing that your group gave them, okay? Unless you have actual proof that you weren't there, I won't listen to you. Which, by the way, from people who were there, confirmed you were here. So, I really don't think you have proof. Yeah, I think harassing a minor is beyond okay. Everything that was done from this group is disgusting. The fact that Josue Ash really let this happen in his server, he let this whole thing happen in his server, is I want to say that it's just not, you know, it's not okay. Sorry, I'm having a really hard time forming words because I'm genuinely so baffled. Like, who thought this was okay? Who thought this was okay? Clearly not Aylaa's partner. They're not involved in this. They're not wanting to be involved in this. That's why I blocked out their names out of everything. Like, clearly something's going wrong here. From the hiding of information, from the cornering a minor, from the trying to pull from things that you think people don't have references of. I have to call into question your ethics at this point. I have to call in the question, like, the fucking questionable anything, the validity of any one part of this. Who realistically wants to fucking bully a minor? Which, if you see any of these comments, nobody agrees with what happens. Nobody does. Before I do completely finish talking about this, I do want to talk about specifically the way Aylaa systematically failed, and so did Josue with this, because there's so much from this. Like, all of this could have happened in a much better way. Everything, this should not have even been made. This should not have even been made. This should not have been made, okay? None of this should have. Whoever was in this call, you should not have been in there. Aylaa, you should not have allowed this to happen, because clearly you're the recorder. Clearly you have your Fox's Brew in it. Which, for anybody who doesn't know, this was posted by Aylaa. Let me properly crop it so you guys can see it. Aylaa is the poster of this. Clearly you see the Fox's Brew right here. This entire video should not have happened. The way this should have happened, yeah, I agree. The minor should not have been involved in adult spaces. That is very fucking clear to see. However, there is a difference, especially if you are a parent, which I'm not shitting on the fact that you're a parent. I'm shitting on the fact that you're a terrible one. You should be setting better examples for your littles. Think of it if your kids were treated this way online. Would you stand for that? No, you wouldn't. You would be on your fence, on everything, trying to get it down. But you give no care. You give no care about the safety of others. You yourself were doxxed. You yourself were doxxed, and you said, I'm not going to talk about it publicly because I don't want to give power to people. But you sat there, and in this video, you doxxed a minor. You doxxed a minor. You forced them to put their age. Also, I will take a drink. Thank you. I'm actually going to take water and a shot because I need one for this. You made a minor. You essentially doxed a minor. You said, oh, which, can we, real quick, before we take that drink. Can we look into the definition of doxing real quick? Search for and publish private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent. Does doxing involve age? Doxing is the act of publicly providing personal identifying information. Age is identifiable. Age is identifiable. Okay? You forced, which, let's take a drink right now before we continue. And cheers, hell hydrate. You forced a minor not only to provide their age on all of their socials because it made you more comfortable, other than just saying they were a minor. You weren't satisfied with that. You kept pushing for it. This entire video is so painful to watch because it's not about safety first. It's not about the information. Yeah, if it's on your ID, it's identifying info. Age is one of that. Clearly. But for you to post this, for you to want any of this. Actually, age is considered part of the doxing ends. Age is still doxable. Because it is technically personal information that you do not need to be sharing unless it is needed. Yes, they did not give... Oh, in my state, age is doxable. Age is doxable. Any information at all about the person's personal information is doxable here. But this entire video, it was just a bunch of adults dogpiling a minor, not satisfied with whatever reply he gave until he eventually said, oh yeah, I'm a danger, I'm this, I'm that, like, I understand, I'm happy you guys. He was happy that these people were assholes to him because it showed him that he needed to change. No, that's not how things go. This should have been done privately. This should have been done in a way that protects everyone in the situation, not just this little anonymous person Not just a little anonymous person, but this needed to be private. This needed to be supportive. This needed to be done with so much love and care that it just was not. He was attacked. He was ridiculed. This is a public shaming if I have ever seen one. They shamed him publicly. They ridiculed him. They put him on a stake to dry. For what? For the sake of community. Safety first. The only thing that you're keeping safe is your state of mind. This is public harassment. This is public ridiculement. This is beyond just harassment. Like, they put him out publicly. He did not know this was recorded. And this is confirmed that he did not know it was recorded. And all because I spoke out about it. All because I said what I said. They wanted to start a rumor. They wanted to start a rumor because I defended the minors' privacy. That I was hanging around with minors. Exactly, they took the silence as he was trying to formulate some plan. Anytime he would get emotional, they would stop and say, don't guilt trip us, don't do this, don't do that. And literally, this could have been done so much better. This should not even exist. Aylaa, you need to take this down. You need to take this down. This is just fucking point blank. You need to take this down. This is sick. This is beyond sick. This is you using your power, using your pathetic clout to ridicule someone, to force them into a corner because they don't adhere to what you wanted them to adhere to. Now, let's move on to the apology, because that goes right after. As you can tell, Zeta has deleted all of the comments clearly. However, I can see my own comment. Chaotic, I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that. As I said earlier, this entire apology video was made with the basis of self-pity, self-okayment, like, I apologized, I feel better about myself. As he said, he did not feel the need to post about it. He did not feel the need to even talk about it. He did this silently. The only reason anybody saw this is because Luna Blue Rose posted about it on Twitter and said, this is some bullshit, that you're posting an apology, but you aren't actually backing it up. You aren't sharing it anywhere. And you're saying that, you know, you shouldn't even have to apologize. And the fact that Aylaa right after all of it, literally in the form of self-preservation, I agree. In the midst of all of it, after that happened, you know the one person who should have been happy for him to have said his apology and wanted to be done with it? Aylaa. You know who's the one that blew up at him? Aylaa. Why did you apologize? Why did you do it? Why? You didn't need to apologize. You didn't need to post that. Why would you do any of that? That means that you're showing that you're weak, is essentially what they told him. No, Zeta, if you hear this, you are not weak for doing that. You're weak for making it about yourself. What I think you need to do... Yeah, her and her friends blew up at him, essentially. Which, like I said, there's this whole section of screenshots I cannot share yet. But if you guys wish to persist to continue, I will be more than happy to. It's already been okayed. Going to Zeta real quick. You need to apologize. Genuinely. Genuinely, just apologize. Not for yourself. Not for the sake of self-preservation. Apologize. Genuinely. Whether if people want to accept it or not. Whether if people are upset at you, you don't need to be worrying about that. If you genuinely want to move on with your life, apologize. Go through with it. Make true on the promises that you make during your apology. Don't sit here and say, because one of the comments that said that, which yeah, he did delete all the comments, as you can see, that said, including the fact that all sides were wrong is beyond fucked. Like at 9 something over here. You should not have to include that in an apology. You need to just own up to it. Point blank. Point blank. Aylaa, what you need to do, you have to apologize now too. Not only to all the people you sat there and you ridiculed, but anybody involved in this. Anybody involved in this, because you dragged them into this. Exactly. And actually, the entire apology, I'm gonna be honest, it was ran through a AI. It was run through an AI. Some people could not find the apology. From what I did from it, the apology was there. However, it was self-preservative. It was done in a way because he wanted to preserve his emotions. It would have been done if he just apologized. That would have been the end of it. Zeta, genuinely just apologize. Aylaa, you need to apologize. You need to apologize not only to all the people involved in this, but especially to the minor. You need to take this down. You need to make sure that you do your due diligence and you look through your information before you go opening your mouth about it. You want to criticize me because I didn't sit here and I didn't open my mouth and I didn't go through everything and I didn't open my mouth whenever I felt I needed to, or whenever you felt I needed to. I didn't open my mouth because I was holding it. I was holding it to ensure that I had all my facts straight. I was holding it to ensure that what I was speaking was not bullshit. Sometimes you need to sit there and you need to think about what you're going to say. Because in a situation like this, when emotions, especially because you're friends with Zeta, or sorry, Zeta. Zeta is another person in that group. My bad. If you're going to sit there with Zeta and confirm to be friends with him and confirm to keep doing things, I will drink some water, thank you. Let me finish the sentence though. You need to make sure that you are going through information yourself, not simply relying on the aggressor to provide you this information. Because there is so much information here that, example, Zeta, you said, you called Panda the woman hitter. Or the girl hitter, however you want to say that, which by the way, if you guys want to go through and delete any of this chat, please do so. I'm gonna get another video of it anyway. But if you want to sit there and make accusatory statements, do it where people can see you. Do it where you aren't hiding behind the comforts of closed doors. Because clearly that is what you've done. That is what you've done. I have quite literally over 100 screenshots of this group. And I am begging you, do the right thing, because none of us want to deal with this. Do the right thing, because none of us want to keep persisting with this. The only reason I am speaking out about this is because you have dragged me into this. You have dragged me into the point where you're gonna have to make me defend myself. And that is on you. You wanted me to speak out. This is me speaking out. You wanted me to use my voice. This is me using my voice. And I bet you don't like it. So, while I want to finish concluding everything, not only did I manage to get everything concise down above all of the bullshit, I managed to get everything in this one video. From the gross misconduct, to the framing of a minor, to you guys blaming other people for this. Honestly, my honest thoughts by the end of this, I think the fake account initially was created by Zeta on the basis of wanting to start drama because he stagnated. Because clearly, as a lot of you see it, drama gets views, drama gets traction, drama gets attention. So you wanted that. Hiding evidence, hiding behind the screens, lying about shit, even properly misremembering things. Like, there are some things in that group, for example, Luna, I hope you don't mind me talking about this. I'm so sorry in advance, but Luna has had a tattoo since they were 18, before they even met Zeta. And Zeta sent a picture of a key to that group chat saying, she gave me the key to her heart. She had that tattoo before she even knew you. You purchased that key. You purchased that key. why are you lying? There's so much lying going on from Zeta to the other parties that I almost feel sorry for Aylaa, because maybe she doesn't even know what the truth is. Maybe she only knows what she's been fed because she hasn't bothered looking into it more on her own. Luna, as much as I know you don't like that, I will have to say, with the anti-Semitics. Not actually, it just, if you know what that's from. If you know what that's from, that's legitimately from a movie. I know, and I know it's a very high emotion thing because it's bullshit at the end of the day. But genuinely, I want to say, Aylaa, you need to do better. You need to do better, not only because you're a mother, and I'm not hating on you because of that. Also, Convo, thank you for the daily glitter. I'm not hating on you because of that. I'm hating on you because of the fact that you dragged a minor in, and if anybody should know the mental implications of putting a minor in a stressful situation, this is something that could affect them long term. This is something that you dragged them in that they did not consent to, yet you still went on posting. This is something that they told you they were having issues mentally and they were thinking of doing things, yet you continued to post this video. You continued to be part of the reason why this person felt lower and lower, to the point where they felt like they were a threat, to the point where they began thanking people quite literally from the basis of trauma, because they don't know how else to respond, because any other emotional response they give you other than I'm fucked up, I'm anything, which even then you want to turn around and say, oh. Oh. Yes, hydrate the Rose Club. It needs to be very important right now because I'm talking a lot. Yeah, and then in this video too, one of the biggest things that happened is they immediately started accusing the minor of things that they didn't even do, just the things that they thought they did. They belittled, they took away his name, which for those of you who know, when people stop using your name completely and just go to bug-eyed, not only are they taking the basis of the fact that you have a name, they're stripping you of your name because they feel you are no longer worthy of that name. That you are not worthy of being a person to be seen in a level of contact that you are below them. Exactly, they're dehumanizing you. And that's something that I don't like, that so many people here just sat idly by, that Josue sat here and he let this happen. He let this happen in his server. He let this all go down. This is beyond abuse. This is emotional abuse. This is abuse of power. This is a power dynamic. This is complete, systematic, absolute fucking... I need to breathe. I'm getting a little emotional, sorry. I'm trying to present this in a very true way so I don't get emotional. This is complete systemic, like, abuse. I understand being a minor and being in the situations, but who here has been a minor and who has done these things without thinking that they would have serious implications on other people? Who here has been a minor who has joined adult spaces thinking that they're mature enough? I know I have. I know I have. Did I ever share my age? No. Did I wait until I was over 18 to ever talk about it? Yes. But I never, ever, ever took it beyond the point that it was meant to be. I knew it was wrong, and I knew it was wrong to be in those spaces. But listen, a lot of us want to just be a part of it. A lot of us want to be part of something that feels more. Exactly. You live and you learn. The fact that so many people here admitted that they also did this, but we're giving this person zero slack, 0 sense of any tie, any sort of humane emotion to hold on to, is beyond fucked. This was an interrogation through and through. This was a gross misconduct of power. This was Aylaa using the fact that she knew people to make sure that other people had no voice. Anytime he would pause, anytime of anything, he was not allowed to speak. Anytime he spoke, oh, you're just trying to emotionally manipulate us. You're just trying to, like, no, this is a teenage boy. This is a fucking teenage boy. Of course he's going to be emotional. Of course he's going to need time to absolutely gather his thoughts. When we're in that age space, we need to gather our thoughts. We need to think about what we say, especially when we're in a group of adults amongst other people who actively fucking hate us. Come on. Really? And they gave him no respite. Nothing. And then by the end of it, what did they do? I agree with him. They forced him to put identifying factors in his bio, other than just being a minor. They forced him to do things that he didn't exactly want to do, that he himself said that he was not comfortable yet doing, that he was getting there. They forced that all upon him just for the sake of their own comfort. This was not done in a sense to protect community. This was done in a sense of self-preservation. Exactly, Choco. Most people around this age, they are going to feel intensely. They are going to react intensely. The fact that the minor actually had time to gather their thoughts and want to say something true to what they believed, and all of these adults around them are spitting fire, says something to me. And I just can't help but feel, I can't help but feel that all of this was just done in such a way that they just wanted to feel right. They just wanted to make sure that they had their say. And I'm not playing a lot of this video, by the way, because for another person that actually did react to it and everything, they were wanting to put legal actions on them, for copyright legal actions on them for using the video, even though whenever we're talking about it, it's completely fair use. And that's what someone in their group said to them. But this is just another factor of they're wanting to silence people. They're wanting to shut people down. They're wanting to make sure that no one can talk bad about them, in the sense of, oh, hey, yeah, I can't play the video at all because, number one, not only do I not agree with the language used, not only does it use identifying features of a minor and the minor's voice, I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. That's the reason why I haven't showed any of the other screenshots. And even then, I have done my due diligence to actually properly redact even IRL names, which Aylaa has not, like I've said. They want to silence people. They want to think they're in the right. They want to push this standard of them having this hierarchy over people. And it is quite literally Aylaa using her power to try and, you know, silence people. Which, if you know, this is Aylaa. I won't hide her. You said what you said. I have her blocked, and she constantly goes over here. I think it's important that whenever you guys are part of these situations, and whenever you guys are confronted with things like this, wait until the proper time to talk about things. I know that everyone wants to be wisteria, and then stop fucking with my friends. I agree. If you fuck with my friends, I will make sure that I turn around and eye out any factor that I can of you. But at the same time, I'm not going to do it baseless. I understand being emotional. I understand having thoughts about this. I understand your friends getting picked on. But what I don't understand is the level of things that this was brought to. I don't understand why this entire apology video got him absolutely ridiculed by an entire group. I don't understand why this entire video is even online. I'm still gonna hold true to what I said. Did the minor's parents consent? Did they okay this? Do you know it's illegal? Do you know it's illegal not only to interrogate a minor without their parents' consent in the US, which, by the way, you do live in? But this not only falls under the absolute meaning of you need to be responsible for the content that you post, for the content that you create, for the people that you involve in everything. Emotions are always going to be high in it, but it's on you to separate yourself from the truth and from what you feel. Exactly. You need to, like Luna said, you need to get your facts straight. You need to make sure that you think, that you take a second of it. Aylaa just acted. Aylaa, what you need to do, and I've said this before, what you need to do, you need to sit down. You need to probably take like a couple weeks. Think on what you've done. You need to actually literally sit down and think, hey, how can I be a better person? How can I do something true to this? Because I understand the fox's brew to you is important, which I will I'll hydrate. Cheers. There you go. Exactly. And that's something that, well, I'm going to be completely honest about this. I am not part of, as you guys see Luna and everything, I'm actually not part of that group. I'm someone who, I did interact with Zeta. I did experience a lot of this firsthand. I did see a lot of what happened in his service because I was a moderator. However, in the situation, I'm still trying to like remain with an air of professionalism because I understand this is beyond me. This is not about me. This is not about me at all. This is about everybody else. This is about the people who are affected. This is about Aylaa. This is about Zeta. This is about what everybody else is confronting. Yeah, so many people, like, people have asked me for advice, and I will gladly give advice because I have been in a situation extremely similar to this. And with an Aylaa involved, however, I was able to shut that down before it got to this point. Just because I did have ample proof and I did have ample amounts of everything. My final message, Zeta. This apology video is shit. Go through, reflect, take time for yourself, genuinely try and fix yourself. You need to apologize, not because you feel you need an apology for yourself, but because you just genuinely need to apologize. Not this, I don't think they need an apology. I don't think this, I don't think that. You don't need to think about it. You just need to apologize. You just need to get down to it and say, hey, I made a lot of people feel very shitty, and I feel very shitty about that, and you need to own up to it. You need to fix yourself. Aylaa wants to say that you're fixing yourself. I'm going to put that blind hope in you and fix yourself. Because clearly you had time to make this apology, this 10-minute long apology of nothing. Sit down, spend fucking 2-3 minutes, make a real apology. Aylaa, you just need to apologize to everyone. You need to take shit down. You need to apologize to everyone. You have done so much bad in this situation that I don't even know where to begin with you. Targeting a minor, cornering them, recording them without their consent, posting it whenever you know they're not in the best of spaces, when they're probably going to do something dangerous to themselves. And you still went through with it. Not only does that say something about you as a parental figure, not caring about a minor like that, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes because you constantly want to say you're a parental figure, that, oh, you can handle people talking ish about you, but not about your kids. I'm not talking about your kids. Not once did I mention your individual children. I don't even know them. I'm talking about you as a parent. I'm talking about you as a guardian. I'm talking about you as an adult. You need to do better, not only for them, but for yourself. You need to not put other minors in situations like this, and anybody else involved. You guys don't need to be part of this. Who even are you fucking people? Genuinely, who even are you fucking people, and why are you here? As far as I know, oh, most of these are just friends. Most of these are just friends, right? I'm breathing. I'm just genuine, like, who the fuck are these people? Why do they need to be involved? Why was this done in a server? Why was this done without someone's consent? Because if I'm going to be 100% honest, none of you should be here. Why was this done in a group setting when Zeta was, you know, quotation mark, basically interviewed? When Zeta was interviewed one-on-one, why is the fact that someone younger than Zeta by years and years and years, why is it the fact that you feel the need to gang up on a minor? Why was this done in a group setting? Why was it recorded without consent? Why was he lured here? There's so many whys. But what I don't get is why you felt the need to put community first whenever you aren't even about your community. You won't even sit there and hear people out. People who you deemed friends, you didn't even go to. You just went with the drama. You just continued to whatever got you your numbers. And I think that speaks more about you than anything. Making these memes, making everything basically about everyone, turning a blind eye to the people in your group, which by the way Kohaku isn't now. That's just, you're picking and choosing your sides. You're picking and choosing. You're not giving any truth to anything. Oh? Wait, what? I'm so confused, Luna. But yeah, that's just point blank. You want to know what to do? You want to know where it goes? Quit dragging people in. Quit dragging minors in. Quit wanting to... Oh yeah. Kohaku's actually involved in this. So Kohaku made a video. Kohaku made a video initially. And I do have it pulled up right here. Where if I'm going through her direct quotes while she was on the video, her direct quotes about the video while she was making it were, I was crying and dying the whole time, NGL. He said, oh yes, we stopped talking because of another issue, but we won't get into it today, ... to allow space for conversation. Like, brother, I blocked you because of how you act, not the other way around. Yet whenever it became convenient, she switched sides. Yeah. And it's basically because she did come into one of my groups. She did come swinging a little bit more aggressively than I would have liked, and I said, basically, fuck off. So yeah. That is everything in its entirety. There are, there's everything here. If you guys want the actual stuff for this, I can make a separate documentation of just this, so you all can properly go through, read through everything as you like. As well as Estrid's story here, who has not been completely brought up, which I would like to kind of skim through, that I did mention, is that yes, messages were leaked without consent. Aylaa leaked messages without consent, even though one of her biggest things is consent. And that I would like to add to that is she did purposefully antagonize people during that. She did purposefully antagonize people for the sake of information and for the sake of wanting to gain more information. So, in conclusion, and the biggest conclusion possible, there is a lot going on that... Oh yeah, I actually talked about that as well. Talking about people like just DMing her and calling a lot of things harassment, even though it's just people genuinely asking questions and asking for fairness. She coined it as harassment just for the sake of wanting to not listen to it and because it's something that she didn't want to hear. But I did manage to go through everything. That is my issue with the Fox's Brew. Safety first, which clearly it's safety last because you doxed a minor in this. An apology video by ZetaKamui And then the debunking of drama, which again has the AI music as much as she wants to speak out about AI. This will be posted on YouTube later. I do plan on posting this without any cuts, and this will be kind of chaotic. But with that, I just want to say first off, thank y'all for joining me today. Aylaa, quit spreading rumors, quit wanting to spread rumors. Same with quite literally Blake, Demon Sniper, AyameShuVt, Destroyer of Worlds. Oh yeah, that's another thing. This is AI artwork, even though it's animated. AI can animate things, by the way. And a lot of these assets are borrowed, which thankfully they do credit. But as you can see, Destroyer of Worlds, Scooby-Doo, following in, right here. Proof that they're part of her side. I really, really want to emphasize that, guys, if you want to do anything, this is me gonna tell you right now, free reign. I will post it to y'all. Dislike that shit. If you want to send a message, don't go out there. Don't be part of the problem. Do me a favor. Just dislike it. Dislike it. Literally let people know that, hey, this is not okay. This is not what should happen. Also, hi, Lily the Bear. Welcome in. And if you see anybody acting like this, exhibiting these same behaviors, pulling in minors into spaces like this, again, a very big reminder, your Discord servers, if you run them, you are entirely responsible of that. You're entirely responsible for enforcing those rules. You're entirely responsible for vetting people that join your server. Whether they be minors or not, you need to be responsible for that. So, literally, that's how I feel. I've been able to share that. And just for the sake of being completely honest and where I got a lot of my stuff from, I know I said I would not go through a lot of it. However, I would like to personally show my sources, at least if not in a very, very quick bit. Which, let me make sure I'm big enough to make sure to hide anybody. Let me studio mode. Okay. It is a whole thing. I won't show anything. I just skimmed through it. So you guys actually know I have it. And that I did read through it. Again, if this party continues any more issues, the person that consented to give it is more than okay with me sharing it. And for the sake of everything, just again, who is who? If you guys want to block any of these people, if you guys want to report anything that they've been doing, especially this video with the minor, please, I encourage it. And here's a reminder that they are censoring their comments, they are censoring what is said about them. And just remember that if you guys have anything to truly share that is worth sharing, you should not have to censor it. With that, this is me giving you everything, all of the information. I want to say, make sure you guys stay safe. Make sure you guys are properly going through and vetting the people that you are friends with. This is me fully debunking everything, fully calling out all of the shit. And I will be gladly posting this with no cuts. Which one of the best parts about it is Zeta has also been like emotionally manipulating people, being like, I'm glad it's done. I'm glad it's done. Like, babes, it's not done. It's not done. The fat lady has yet to sing as clearly Destroyer wanted to say it's time to cut the fat. No, it's not time to cut the fat. The fat lady is singing right now, and you are not cutting me off. Thank you. Hopefully nothing else happens. I'm hoping that other people are responsible enough to actually take accountability for what they're doing. Aylaa, like I said, you're a parent. You need to be accountable. Jim. With that, I'll leave you with it. I'm gonna raid out to somebody. I don't know who yet. Hopefully not talking about drama. Yeah. As if anything else happens, if this party continues, I will share the document that I was citing. And I will share the who is who, as you guys were able to see it properly. With all of the documents in question, if you guys want to actually get just the links for that, I will make a separate doc altogether. And thank you for that. I will get some water. I will get some water, Choco. But I'll have to get it after because I don't have any more near me. I finished it. Actually, oh wait, there's some right here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Valdis. Thank you, Valdis. With that, I want to say, number one, to our moderators who have been keeping track of chat and making sure that people are not getting spicy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say a quick thank you, which, guys, say thank you to the anon person on call with me. Because they have been making sure that I have not been getting too heated, and if I get too heated, I pull back. So just a silent thank you for anon here. And thank you guys for, of course, hearing me out. Let's raid somebody out. I think I might be raiding Magus. Of course, I will always speak the truth on anything that happens. I am not someone who is so easily bought out by lies, and I'm not someone that you can easily make friends with. Are you? Just saying. And I just want to say I will be someone who will continuously always be fighting for the truth and always be fighting for the people who may not have a voice. I want to say you all stay amazing, stay beautiful, and of course, stay high. I hope you enjoyed my Mother's Day gift. We're gonna go ahead and raid Magus. This is someone who is just playing some Doom Eternal. They're just vibing out. Definitely some good vibes that we need. Yeah, this was my Mother's Day gift for Aylaa. The first message is going to be for our lovely subscribers. The second message is going to be for our followers. And again, I just want to say, if you guys have any more to touch on this, make sure that you guys are writing your own documents. Make sure that you guys are doing your own things individually to clearly help state time frames and everything that has happened, because that is the best way that you can actually come across and make identifying factors for other people. With that, I want to say thank you to all the people who joined, both anonymously and signed out of your Twitch. I recognize y'all. Kisses for you, sweet cheekses. And we're gonna raid Magus. I'm gonna go ahead and get to downloading this video, and it'll be up on the YouTubes very, very soon. Good night, everyone. Stay amazing, stay beautiful, and of course, stay high. This is Lady Rose signing out. Make sure you take that truth serum. Good night.